Hello guys, how you doing today? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Igor Ryltsev here. Today we are going to be talking about top 5 easiest, cheapest and fastest ways to immigrate to Canada. I'm an immigrant myself, and as some of you may know already, I was an international student. I came to Canada 5 years ago. I finished my immigration 1.5 years ago, and I'm planning to apply for citizenship this summer 2018 because of the new citizenship program, and it's great. Now I want to share my experience with immigration. I want to tell you those ways that I learned while being in Canada, the fastest and simplest ways to immigrate to Canada. Number 1, get married. If you get married with a Canadian person, permanent resident or Canadian citizen, you can get spousal sponsorship program. So it is very easy to immigrate, to get sponsored to Canada. Some of you might think, oh, it's only for ladies, It's not an option for me, I'm a guy, to get married. I'll tell you a fact. I knew 3 ladies who came to Canada, Ukrainian ladies, beautiful ladies. No, one of them was actually not that beautiful, but 2 of them were really beautiful. And they were like, if you're going to find a Canadian guy, you're going to get married with him and he's going to sponsor us. Guess what? Canadians don't get married that much and they get divorced even faster. It's like most people here I know they were divorced 2 or 3 times. What I'm saying is they don't like getting married. So it's not that easy. But at the same time, I know that there are 2 guys who found beautiful ladies from Ukraine who were born and raised in Canada, and those ladies sponsored them. So yay! It's not only for ladies. In my stories, I know more guys who've been successful in getting married with beautiful ladies than ladies getting married with beautiful guys. So it's not only for ladies, it is for both, for guys and ladies. If you're lucky enough to meet a Canadian guy or a girl and get married, and that person is going to sponsor you to come to Canada, it's your luck. This is the simplest and easiest way to do that. The other way is work permit. So if you get an employer with a job offer who is willing to sponsor you, it's the easiest. If you're talented enough, if a person is going to sponsor you, you can get it. It's also the cheapest because the employer is going to pay for everything. Number 1 is spouse. For example, the spouse is going to pay for you, and it's like you don't have to do almost no paperwork. For employer has to file all the paperwork and pay for everything. So it's the cheapest way as well. You get a work permit by getting the employer to sponsor you. So if employer sponsor you to come to Canada, basically employer would have to do LME. It's like a short form of labor market opinion. And once you get that LME, you get so much of more points for express entry. So once employer sponsors you to come here and work for the employer in Canada, you're almost settled, almost certain that you are now going to apply and get your permanent residence. And after you get your permanent residence in 4 years, of course, you can get your citizenship. And that's what I'm going for myself real soon. Third way is my way. Student visa. If you are coming here as a student, you'll get 3 benefits. Number 1, Canadian education. That gives you more points for express entry. Number 2, your English. My English sucked when I came to Canada. Well, it was alright, but I almost forgot everything. So you improve your English. And number 3, you're getting a working visa for, if you study for 2 years, they give you a 3-year working visa. If you study for 1 year, they give you a 1-year working visa. But if you study for 2 years, they give you a 3 years working visa. Meaning, you can work for any employer in Canada. Any employer. You can quit if you don't like that guy, and you can work for someone else. If some employer sponsors you, you have to work for that person, one person. If you're a student, you can come to your employer and say, hey, screw you, I'm not working for you, I'm going to someone else. That's it. So you get an open work permit that you can work any employer within those 3 years. What it would mean basically, for sure, once you graduate, you get Canadian education, you improve your English, and then you improve your work experience by getting extra points for Canadian work experience. So it's the safest way. But it can be expensive. I spent about my parents, I didn't have that money. Of course, I had to borrow money from my parents. $45,000. That's how much it costed me. Because $25,000 for education for 2 years, and I had to stay, eat something, and live somewhere. And I used to eat a lot, and I still do. So yeah, it's quite expensive for international student, but it's almost certainly guaranteed that you are going to stay in Canada. Number 4 is a foreigner investor. So if you're a rich guy who rides a Maserati in your country, and you have a lot of money, and you can invest 500 Canadian thousand dollars, $500,000 into Canadian economy, you are welcome. Why? Because you're creating jobs and opportunities for Canadians within Canada. There is a foreign investor program, so you can come as an investor and stay in Canada. You can go through that stream by investing into Canadian economy. Of course, government is going to promote that because you're creating more jobs, you're developing the economy, and you're bringing in money. You know what Canada doesn't like? Canada doesn't like someone coming to Canada and sitting on their benefits. You know, when you're not working but government pays you, you don't want to do anything but government pays you to support you. Number 5 is your way. Your way may be not the easiest, maybe not the cheapest, but it's your way. It can be simple. You go to Express Entry Calculator right now, you calculate how much points you have. And you check what was the latest draw, how much points were there. So if you get enough points right now on the Express Entry Calculator based on your education, work experience, English language, and other criteria. So if you get enough points right now, you do not have to. You do not have to get married with someone. You don't have to go to school in Canada. You don't need 500,000 to invest. And you don't need all the hustle and other stuff. If you get enough points right now, you just fill the application. You get invitation to apply for permanent residence. And you're coming to Canada with permanent residence right from your home country. That's the best way. It's your way. Express Entry. Now, if you are like myself, who didn't get enough points to go from his own country into Canada because I am young, my English was not that good, I didn't get enough points. I didn't know what to do. So I went as an international student. I had some amount of points, of course, because age factor and other stuff, education. But how did I boost my points? I improved my English. I got Canadian education. I got Canadian work experience. And with those 3 factors in Canada, I got enough points for Express Entry to Immigrate. Now, if you're in Canada as an international student, for example, or something else, there is also a big program. It's provincial program. You can go through provincial program, but you would have to go through every single province and read it in details. There are many ways to come to Canada. There are many ways to stay in Canada. So these are the 5 ways, the cheapest, fastest, and easiest ways to stay in Canada. So the first one is getting married. If you're lucky, if you're on Tinder and you get some, well, on Tinder, I don't know what's the best website to do that. So you get some Canadian girlfriend or boyfriend, you meet each other, you fall in love, you get married. Absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations, welcome to Canada. Number 2, the job offer. You are talented, Einstein, or I don't know, engineer, or whoever you are, doctor. An employer sponsor you. Welcome to Canada. Employer sponsors you, great, it's good. It can be difficult to find a wife. It can be difficult to get an employer or husband or employer to sponsor you. Student visa. Student visa is up to you. I know students like myself. I know other people who didn't have enough money. I know a lady who was working for a couple of years on cruise ships. I know people who went to different countries to make enough money for their tuition. So it's up to you to make that money, to get enrolled into Canadian college or university. It's not easy, but you can do it. You can do it definitely. I know so many people who did that, and you can do it as well. Number 4, for an investor, if you have a Maserati, wherever you are from, if you have lots of money, you can be an investor and you can come to Canada. But I know lots of people who have that much of money, they don't even want to come to Canada, so this might be not an option for you. Number 5 is your way. Number 5 is your way. It's only, out of all of those ways, the number 5 is the most important one. It's how it works out for you. In your specific situation, in your case, what's your age, what's your work experience, what's your education and everything, you put it all together, you go and see the Express Entry, the most important, check it out right now, and after that, maybe you are already in Canada, maybe you don't need anything, maybe you can just apply and come here with your family, settle and start living your life and living your dream. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm trying to respond to as many questions as I can. I know some people are writing to me on Facebook, some are writing to me on WhatsApp because they have my phone number. I'm trying to respond to everyone, but there is only so much of time I have to respond to all of you guys. So it's easier, way easier for me to produce one video based on so many questions that I get. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share and this video and subscribe to this channel. If you liked it and you want to see more, ask me questions and right under this video, write your comments, and I'm going to produce more stuff that would be helpful for you, because I want to share my experience and I want to help you to immigrate to Canada. Thank you so much. Have a good one.